All right. How many of you been here twice? 3 times? 4 times? 5 times? 6 times? 7? 8? 8? 9? No, wait, 10. 10, okay. So, my goodness, that's amazing. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Ra Koh. I started with the Sony Artisan program 10 years ago, and I just cannot believe that it's become this #1 mirrorless camera brand, right? How amazing is that? So, if you've never heard of me, can you guys hear me okay? Okay, great. If you've never heard of me, my focus is family portraits. I love working with kids. Tomorrow I'm going to do a live shoot at 11:30 with kids if you want to come back for that. Today I want to talk to you about locations and how important locations are to your photo shoots. There are 3 things that go into finding the right location. If you have a phone and you want to write this down, I advise it, but these are the 3 things that I am always thinking of. 1 is character, okay, character of the location. 2 is, does the location have like a deep sense of meaning? And 3, like, what is the light of that location? So character, meaning, and light. So one of the problems that I see a lot of portrait photographers run into, raise your hand if you're a portrait photographer, so I know who my portrait people are. Okay, great. One of the mistakes that I made when I started almost 20 years ago is I thought that I was supposed to find an amazing location, all right? And I thought that that's what was going to inspire the client. But what I didn't realize is that the client wanted a location that was meaningful to them. And the more meaning you can bring to your photo shoot, the more your client wants to pay for what you've done. Does that make sense? So, this is a photo shoot I did recently in San Francisco, and the reason we chose the Presidio Park is because of all of those trees, those birch trees, the eucalyptus trees in the background. See how all the eucalyptus trees are really like white in the color? The texture is very like muted, and so I wanted to put her in that space to make her like fabric, you know, pop from the image that much more. So for me, this location is really based on character, and character is like the texture, the color, the different energy that can add to the image. So this is another one that is really about the character. This photo shoot was really interesting. It's a senior photo shoot I did a couple weeks ago in Dallas. And this is every millennial's like favorite shot, right? Huge, wide location, and they're like super small in it. Now, it's not necessarily probably what his parents want to buy a big print of because they want to see his face more, but it's the one that he like wants to post on Instagram, right? So you're kind of catering to 2 different audiences and the locations that you choose. Well, he is actually studying to be a pilot. He's getting his aviation license. And so we did this senior photo shoot at the airstrip. And I was like, I was not this cool when I was a senior in high school. But basically, I wanted to get a shot of this, like these 2-seater planes that he's learning to fly. And I wanted the hangar behind him. We shot it specifically late in the day so the sun would be cresting right over the roof. But if I didn't light this, I had to also use an off-camera flash. If I didn't, he would have been too dark. And so let's say like he's right in front of me, okay, with the plane, and the sun's coming over the top. And so what I did is I had my husband stand about 20 feet off to the right of me, and we shot the ProPhoto B10 into a beauty dish, and that lit him up so that we could see him and still retain the color in the background behind him and all that texture. Does that make sense? Okay, so location for him, like this is a meaningful, this is everything he wants to be a pilot. And so being able to have a location that has an emotional like attachment for them makes your work that much more valuable. They pay that much more for it. So for this one, we put the two-seater plane in the middle of the hangers, and we decided to do more of like a fashion magazine look, like more like that iconic black and white, where we just like, it's classic, it's timeless, and we're working together on like what kind of shot, like how does he want to look, what does he want to portray for his senior portraits. Let's go to the other extreme. Whenever I go into a client's home to do their photo shoot, I always start by asking them if I can have a tour of their home. And the parents aren't usually like ready for that because they maybe have a certain part of the house they want me to like do the shoot in, but not necessarily like go through their whole house. But why am I asking for a tour of their home? What am I looking for? Who said it? Louder. Light. Yes, I'm looking for light. Where is the best light? And where is a location that we can make feel intimate? It can feel super personal. And so when I saw the master bathroom, this tub, and the window, the blinds were closed, I opened them up and all this beautiful light spilled in. I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta get the mom and the baby in the tub. So I didn't ask the mom to like take off all of her clothes, right? She doesn't need to do that. I just asked her to take a tank top and tuck the straps underneath like in her bra. And then the baby had a diaper on and the baby's kind of hiding her. So it looks like they're in the tub together for bath time, but we've like set it up. So mom is also comfortable. Does that make sense? So thinking about locations is critical because man, I cannot tell you how many years I did photo shoots for families where I would find a beautiful park or a beautiful place downtown and we would go do the photo shoot there and I would be really excited about what we got, but the place that we shot it at meant nothing to them. And so I've since learned over the years to ask them, like, where do you want to go? And this is really interesting. I just did this like 2 weeks ago in New York City. I was here, and the Central Park is just so beautiful, right? And so I suggested to them, well, why don't we go to Central Park for your family portraits? And the mom was like, well, there's this other great park that's really small. It's Stewart Park, I think is the name of it. What is it? What is it? It's Riverside Park. It's not Stewart Park. It's Riverside Park. So we went to this little park, and it's so much smaller than Central Park. And it just had, like just stone steps or whatever in it, just like Central Park has. I could have done this same shot, exact shot, in Central Park, but we did it at Riverside Park, and because we did it at the park that they go to all the time as a family, which one are they going to pay more for? Right? They're going to pay more for the Riverside one. And it took me a long time to realize that the location equates directly to how much they want to pay for like the portraits afterwards. And so this is another example. This was shot here in the city a couple weeks ago. And this structure, like I wouldn't normally choose like this kind of structure to be in a shot because I don't ever want the background or the setting to compete with like the family, right? But the dad like loves this thing and nobody knows what this thing was used for or what it even is, but like they love it and they see it all the time. And so again, like just finding that place that's meaningful to them because that's what adds direct value to it. So let me give you a couple examples. Well, before I move off of this, I know it's helpful when I like walk through the lighting of it. So I'm shooting straight on at them at like an f8 so I can get the detail in that large structure. But I'm also using the ProPhoto B10 off to the side and I'm shooting it with a beauty dish as well just to light them up so that they wouldn't have looked like a silhouette because I wanted that blue sky and I wanted color in the skyline of the buildings. And if I didn't use a light to light that up, it would have like whitewashed out. Does that make sense? So here is a location. This is in a hotel restaurant, And this is what I'm doing. When I'm doing a photo shoot, I'm looking at, okay, where is the best light? Where is the best spot to place my subject? And so right here you can see the light is really, really hot, right? And it's hot right here. But then like everybody see this, how it's really neutral there? So I decided for this next shot that I was gonna just put the mom right in front of that wall. And that's the wall of where I took this portrait. And so you can see like you can be in a hotel restaurant and still get a beautiful result. One of the things that I love about this specific portrait is often when I'm working with moms who've just had a baby, I'm trying to figure out ways to like frame them or have them stand or compliment them, because a lot of the times they haven't got their baby weight off and they feel like insecure about their body and being photographed. She looked at me and she was like, you know what? I know your job is to make me like look as flattering as possible, but I love my body, that my body was able to give birth to this baby. Like, just like, I want a powerful portrait of me. I want to look powerful in it. And that was where we came up. I wouldn't normally pose the mom this way with a baby, but that's why I decided to put the baby on the hip as almost as an accent, because the real story of the portrait is just how like empowered she feels, and there's no shame but just love for her body. So this is another setting. This is in a bar, and I love going to obscure locations and just taking portraits in those spaces to be able to show people that it's not so much like the location that's perfect or the studio setup that's perfect. It's knowing how to see light and where to find it. This is all window light. So you can see there's these shelves here. The window light is right here. It's like falling onto these tables. Because the window light is so strong, you notice how it drops off in the background. There's no light that's really hitting those shelves. And that's why I was able to take this there. And so no other light but window light. And because the window light is so strong on the mom and baby, I'm able to get that really dark background behind them. So people ask me all the time, like, what is your favorite lens? If you had one lens to choose, what would it be? And for almost 20 years, it's been the same answer, because there's no other lens like it. The 24-70 f2.8, and I use a G Master, is like the most phenomenal lens. I can go really wide. I can do with a group family shot. I can get in close like this. And the other feature that I absolutely love using is Sony's IAF, their autofocus that locks on the eye. It is unbelievable. Today I was on the stage and I had a 2-year-old, I had a 3-year-old, and I had a 7-month-old baby. And they were right here. That we had a huge 4x6 light, Pro Photo light, and Sony wanted everyone in the audience to be able to see what I was seeing through the camera. So I couldn't even see anything through my camera. And then when I set up to take the shot, the light was blocking the screen. So I couldn't even see what my camera was seeing. And I was asking the audience, are the people in the frame, can you tell me, like, is the baby or the kids in the shot? And the IAF was like grabbing focus on the eyes, regardless of whether I could see it or not. And so some of you might think I'm absolutely crazy, and I think I am a little bit, but I'm gonna do it again tomorrow at 11:30 if you wanna come and see it for yourself. You almost have to see it to believe it. This is a workshop I was teaching in Dallas last month, and I just wanted to show you again the setup where we're closing all the windows and we're just opening up just a little bit of light, okay? So we're controlling light. And so whether I'm working with a Pro Photo light or I'm working with window light, I'm thinking about how can I create and control the amount of light that I want to hit my subjects. So by just closing it up and letting that little slit in, you can see this is the mom and the baby right there. This is what we got. And so I love the dynamic range in Sony's cameras because shadows are a huge deal to me. As you've seen from some of my portraits, I'm either shooting really deep shadows or I'm shooting really bright highlights. I'm shooting right into the sun, with the sun coming at that kid, right, with the plane. And so being able to have detail in both the highlights and the shadows is crucial to like what I'm wanting for a final product. So dynamic range is what's able to give me that. So you can see the IAF, I was using that as well. It locked on the baby's eyes. And a lot of the other camera brands are talking about how they have IAF. The difference between other camera brands and Sony's IAF is that the IAF tracks them. So as the baby moves, as the kids move, the IAF is always tracking them. It's always locked on their eye. It's not just when I focus my camera. So again, I'll show you that tomorrow at 11:30. Okay, thank you so much for being here today, for being a great audience.